Good morning, everyone. My name is Nanta Kundu, and I am a student of 4th semester B.Ed Department of Kalna College, which is affiliated to the University of Bardwan. And here my course is EPC Critical Understanding of ICT, teaching with a multimedia e-content developed by this student. Before I go into an elaborate discussion of today's topic, I'd like to thank our dear Professor Aniket Sutrodhar for his helping hand. So now, let's move on to our topic. Here we have our topic is tense, and it is from class 7, and the book that I have chosen here, The Blossom, and it is by West Bengal Board of Secondary Education. Now we will get to know about tense. What is tense? If I may ask you what tense is, if you are getting yes, you are absolutely right. Tense is a form of verb that allows you to express time. Tense of the verb tell us when an event is supposed to happen, whether an event has already happened or is it going to happen in future. Here, just as my dear students, your parents have 3 or 4 children, tense has 3 children similarly. Here, the first one is present tense, the second one is past tense, and the third one is future tense. So, what is past tense? If I may ask you what is present tense, then now let's move on to our example. If I may ask you what you are doing at the present moment, you will say that I am watching your video, ma'am. So the things that you are doing at the present moment is called the present tense. If I may ask you, then, my dear students, what you were doing before watching my video? You were say I were eating or I were sleeping. So the things that you were doing a moment earlier is called past tense. And if I again ask you what you are going to do in future or a moment later after watching my video, some might say I will going to sleep, I will eat, or I will write it down, ma'am. So the things or the action you will do in future will fall in future tense. Now move on. Here, the first one is past tense. What is past tense? Actions happened earlier before present moment is referred to as past tense. That is to say, as I have said you earlier, that if I may ask you what you are doing at the present tense or in present moment, you will say that I am watching your video, ma'am. So the things that you were doing before watching my video will fall in past tense. Again, if I give you an example of or I ask you what is your age, you might say my age is 14 or 15. So you are now young, but you were an infant in past times. So you are not an infant at this moment. That is to say you were infant is past tense. Now move on to the next one. Here the present tense. What is present tense? Actions happened at present moment is referred to as present tense. If I may ask you what you are doing at the present moment or what is your age, you might say my age is 14. You will not say that your age is 7 or 5 because you are not an infant. You are an young one, and the current age will be your current tense, that is to say present tense, or the current actions that are you doing at this moment will be called as present tense. Now we will move on to the next one. Here we have the future tense. What is future tense? Here actions which will happen in future moment is referred to as future tense. So again I will move on to our example. If I may ask you what you are going to do after reading or after watching my video, you will see or you will someone say that I am going to read it out again, or I am going to play, or I will do this and that. So the actions that you will do a moment later, that will fall simply in future tense. Or similarly, if I ask you what is your age now, you will see you will say that your current age is 15. If your current age is 15, then you will be 18-year-old 2 years later. So when you are going to be an adult and 18-year-old in future, not in past, not in present. My dear students, now next here we have the present tense. Now we are going to enjoy it together and learn it better. See, as our parents have 3 or 4 children, here present tense has 4 children. That is to say that present tense is subdivided into 4 categories. First one is simple present tense, and repeat with me, the second one is present continuous tense, and the third one is present perfect tense. Now, and the fourth one is present perfect continuous tense. We will get to know each one of it one by one. Here we have simple present tense. What is simple present tense? Look at this term, simple present tense. That is to say, actions which happens at the present moment will be called as simple present tense. Here we have a formula. What is the formula? Now see it. First one is subject plus verb, its past form plus object. Now it will be interesting to have some example so you can better understand it. Okay? Now read along with me. Sneha eats chocolate. Here, what is the subject? Sneha is the subject. And what is the verb? Eat is the verb. You see, here, s is added with the verb eat to signify eat as the verb first form plus object. What is the object here? The object here is the chocolate. So Sneha eats chocolates. It is in simple present tense. Now you are enjoying it. We will move on to the next example. Rahim plays football. Rahim is the subject. Similarly, plays is, what is it? Try to identify. It's very easy. It's called verb and its first form. Yes, very good job. Now plus object. What is its object? Its object is football. Yes, you are absolutely right. Now you are understanding it. It's very interesting. I know it. Now move on to our next example. Earth rotates around the sun. Here you see the subject is earth and rotate is the verb, around is the preposition, the is article and sun is the object. Now we will move on to our next one. Here we have present continuous tense. What is present continuous tense? Present continuous tense refer to those actions that are happening at the present moment. I am saying that actions has just started and isn't finished yet. It is continuously happening at the present moment. That is to say, here we have the examples. Neha is eating chocolate. What is the formula? The formula is subject plus verb plus ing plus object. Here we see the examples. Neha is the subject, is the auxiliary verb, eat is the verb, and ing is here added, and then object is the chocolate. Similarly, in the next example, they are playing football. Here they is the subject, are is auxiliary verb play is the verb and ing is similarly added plus object is football. So they are playing football is the action that is happening at the present moment but isn't happened yet. Now, here we see the third example. Students are reading the book. That is to say, they haven't read it out, they are still reading. That is why we called it continuous, as it is happening continuously at the present moment. Now, move on to the next one. Present perfect tense. So, what is present perfect tense? So, you are enjoying it. I hope you all will enjoy it better. So, here the examples. The first one is Sneha has eaten chocolate. Here we have the formula. What is the formula here? The formula is subject plus has or have plus verb, its third form, plus object. So, in the example, what is the subject? Yes, you're absolutely right. Sneha is the subject. Very good. Plus, here has is added. Now, what is the verb here? The verb is eat and its third form is eaten. And what is the object? The object is chocolate. Similarly, we will know the next examples. Now read along with me. They have played football. Here the subject is they, have is added, plus the verb is play, third form is played, and football is added. And the third example is the students have read the book. Students have read the book. I'm saying that they are not reading it or they are not read it. I'm saying that they have read it. That's why I am using perfect tense. It's in present time, but it has just happened. They have just read the book. They have just played football. Sneha has just eaten chocolate. I'm not saying that Sneha is, remember this and try to identify it, that Sneha is not eating chocolate. Sneha has eaten. She has completed already an actions. And the action, as I have already said, that has happened a moment earlier and is completed, is fall in present perfect tense. So, understand it? They have played football and students have read the book. They have finished reading books. They have finished playing football. They have finished eating chocolate. So now let's move on. Here we have the present perfect tense and it is a very interesting one and important one. See here the formula is subject plus verb, and here we have the has, have been plus verb plus ing plus object. Here the example is Sneha has been eating chocolate. So, what is the subject here? The subject is Neha. Here similarly has is added along with been plus verb is the eat and ing is added plus object. Object is here the chocolate. So Sneha has been eating a chocolate. It's a perfect example of present perfect continuous tense. So why it is called present perfect continuous tense? Because it has been happening in the past time or in earlier time and it hasn't finished yet. That is to say that Sneha has been eating chocolate. So the next example is they have been played football. Here the action is playing football and they haven't finished it, but they have continuously doing it in past time. That is to say that here ing is added. The next example is students have been reading the books. What they are doing? No, they are not doing at this present moment. They have been doing in the past times, but just a moment earlier. Here the subject is student and have or has is added here. Here the have is added plus been plus reading, and ing is added similarly, and plus the object. Now move on to the next one. Here we have an work that is to do. Let's find out. Here we have some examples. Now it will be really interesting to identify what is the tense used in each of these examples. I will read each one of it and you will respond it accordingly. Okay? Well, the first example is children are going to the school. Now please identify what the tense used here. The children is the subject, are is the auxiliary verb, go plus ing, and to the school. So it is an, yes, you are identifying it. It is in simple present continuous tense as ing is added. So children are going to the school. I'm not saying that they goes to the school or they will go to the school. I'm saying that they are going. They are doing this action at the present moment continuously. That is why it will fall under present continuous tense. Similarly, we have the second example. See what tense it is. She has completed her reading before writing. So here we have the subject has is used, completed her reading. As I have mentioned earlier, if an action has already happened in the past moment, then it will fall in what tense? It will fall in present perfect tense. Yes, very good. Now we'll move on to the next example. Here the example is student have been listening story to grandma. So what is the example used for the tense? Students have been listening. I'm not saying that they are listening, they have been listening. That is to say, they have been listening story to grandma. What is the tense used in this sentence? Please do identify. It is in, yes, you're right. It is in simple present perfect continuous tense. Now we will move on to the next one, and this will be the last one. So here Sneha loves to eat ice cream. So what is the tense used here? Here you can similarly identify that it is in simple present tense. So very good. Now we will do it till, and we will continue it in next class. For the time, thank you, my dear students.